right, our Zerg player up here at the top right, a member of the team TSL, very innovative Zerg, smart Zerg. He is
TSL Revival.
He's got some fans in the audience. They were screaming, and the Marine King girl looked at him like, psh. Here's the player down here at the bottom. Needs little introduction. He is the King of Marines and otherwise known as
Marine King Prime Wing.
There he is. I like his glasses. They make him look serious. I bet if he has a girlfriend, he probably got those glasses, and his girlfriend just looked at him and said, when you wear those glasses, I feel like you could rule the StarCraft 2 scene. And he's like, that's how I feel when I wear them too. Marine King pretty much does rule the StarCraft 2 scene. Remember, he's ranked 4th overall in points, and Marine King is going to do a proxy. He cut SCVs. No, he's actually not going to do a proxy. He's just going to 2-Rax, but you don't actually need to cut that SCV. It's a super fast 2-Rax. I thought he was going to proxy it, but oops. By the way, for those of you guys who didn't know, I just got a little tip from my producers. I actually knew this, but I should mention it to you guys. Marine King is 2nd in the Grandmaster League in Korea, so he really does rule StarCraft 2. As soon as he takes #1 spot, it's like he's going to take #1 spot on Grandmasters, and he's going to take the #1 spot in the Super Tournament, and no one will question him again. No one will call him Silver King. They will call him Hero, for he is their king. Well, we'll have to get there first. He is going to 2-Rax with a very fast second barracks. Both of those barracks built at 11. So normally you kind of build your first racks at 12. You get your second one 13 or 14, but you don't cut SCVs really to do it. You can cut an SCV if you really want to get that barracks up fast, but he got that second barracks up super fast. I remember Marine King was actually one of the first players to do that bit-by-bit style all-in when that was becoming popular back in Season 2. And in fact, when he made it to the finals against Nestea in the 5th game, it was close positions Metalopolis, and Marine King tried to do it, it didn't work, but he's known for doing this. Now, he may pull all of his SCVs here, but I don't think that's what he's got planned. I think he just wants to put some pressure on, bunker his opponent. Luckily, for Revival, he went for a Speedling expand instead, but that does allow Marine King to have a lot of leeway here with this bunker, and he actually didn't have an Overlord to spot for this, so he doesn't know until just now. He's making some Zerglings, 8 Zerglings, 10 Zerglings on the way. These bunkers may finish, and Marine King's got his Marines in such a good spot here. I think Revival is in trouble. Here come the Zerglings now. Remember, they don't have speed. He just didn't have enough gas quite yet. He's going to get those Marines in the bunker. And once those Marines get in the bunker, things get really bad because the second bunker will finish. And this hatchery will fall almost indefinitely. Revival doing the right thing and pulling his Zerglings to try to cut off reinforcements. But this really fast 2-Rax pressure from Marine King, I gotta say, you know, it kind of worked out for him. It could have worked out badly, but the biggest deal that happens with this, if it looks like, oh, Terran Imba, you know, a lot of people are like, Terran Imba, Terran's so easy, Marine King gonna take game 3 like this. If you don't have an Overlord to spot for the bunker, this will happen to you. If it hasn't happened to you yet on the ladder, it will. You have to have an Overlord to spot for things like this. He just didn't see it coming. Didn't react fast enough. I mean, he didn't have his spawning pull up really quickly, but he could have pulled drones. He could have stopped that first bunker from going up at least. But now he's got 2 bunkers at the front. He lost his hatchery. And what's he going to do from here? His speed isn't even done yet. Marine King started a command center back home, and he's just going to attack these. All of his Zerglings will die. All of them, except those 2 that run away. Maybe a few more than 2. All right. The Queen is going to... Well, the Queen almost got taken out as well. She just barely escaped. Marine King going to hold these bunkers a little bit longer. He's got a lot more Marines at home. He's got enough to where he can move out with them and kill the Zerglings that are trying to cut off reinforcements. Even though they do have speed, he just has enough Marines. I think he's going to wait for 2 more. Then he's going to go and attack, and he's going to end the game. And Revival, a good Zerg player, showed some aggression in game 1. Marine King took him out into game 2. But this time, I thought we were going to see an epic long game here on Xel'Naga Caverns, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. That's what happens if you don't have an Overlord to spot. You just have to do it. He had an Overlord, but it was like over the 3rd base location. It wasn't where the bunker would be. So they make a Baneling nest, which is pretty smart. But he's just so far behind it. Marine King could almost just pull all of his Marines back and just not even do anything else. The Banelings may bust down those bunkers, but I think Marine King is, instead of trying to end the game, He's just going to sit back, expand, start teching up. He's got a factory on the way. And a lot of these Zerglings will be lost, not cost effectively. That one bunker does fall, the second one falls as well. He just lost a lot of Zerglings to do it though. And the drone will make a hatchery. Right now, I'll give you guys some numbers. 20 SCVs to just 16 drones, so Marine King hasn't been making that many SCVs back at home. He did kind of cut some SCVs at the beginning and then made that command center, so he cut a few more SCVs as well. And Revival is going to try to bust here, do some damage, but Marine King just has a bunker, he has so many units, he's expecting this. I mean, what else could happen? That's the position that Revival's in. I mean, sure, if Marine King just totally flopped and didn't make a bunker and didn't control his Marines, didn't prepare to split, he might lose to this Baneling attack. But most likely he's not. And actually, Revival, smartly, I think he realizes what's going on. He scouted the bunker at the top of the ramp and decided the Baneling aggression is just not going to work. So I'm going to expand again. So he's going to double expand here. Try to keep himself in this. He's so behind. I mean, it's only 7 supply lead from Marine King, but he's got so many units out. Whereas Revival, he's going to have to balance really well how many units he makes and how many drones he makes. And if he makes too many drones for just a second, he's going to die. And if he doesn't make a lot of drones, if he just tries to make units and doesn't balance it well, he'll just fall so far behind by economy-wise. Anyways, Marine King already has a second base up. It's already going to be saturated here. He's going to start dropping mules. He's already teching up his starport. It's about to start. I mean, he hasn't started it yet, but he's going to start that starport soon. Siege mode is almost done. He's got 1 siege tank out. Marine King, I think, is just going to bank up some resources here, get a pretty scary army, and move out, because basically there were 2 possibilities. Revival was going to go for a Baneling bust, which he did make a Baneling nest and then not use, which I liked, which was smart. Or he's going to try to get ahead in the economy by droning like a madman and possibly double expanding. If Marine King gets wind of the double expand, he's most likely going to attack immediately. As soon as he finds out that one Zergling trying to be annoying does get taken out. Yeah, Marine King is just going to attack now. He doesn't know exactly what's going on. Didn't see that third base yet, but he knows he has enough units. He should be able to hold this, or his opponent shouldn't be able to hold this, rather. Sorry, the soul casting is starting to take a little bit of a toll on me, guys. And there's a nice little counterattack here by Revival. Well, he's going to do it. Now he's just going to try to sandwich Marine King maybe between 2 groups of units, but he doesn't have a second group of Zerglings to sandwich it with. Maybe try to catch a siege tank here, but taking a shot there. Losing a lot. Marine King scans, takes out a lot of these creep tumors. +1 melee attacks on the way for Revival, but they're not going to be done in time. 7 Banelings on the way. They will be done in time, but will they be enough? Marine King darts forward here with his Marines. Remember, he doesn't have stim. Doesn't have any upgrades on these Marines. They're just plain Marines. Combat shields are about 2/3 done, so they may come into play. Zergling's trying to run in here, but a lot of them are being taken out. A few roaches do pop, and here come the Banelings, but the siege tanks are nicely spread and good Marine split. But actually, it looks like Marine King may lose most of his forces here. He's done a ton of damage regardless. Even though this won't necessarily end the game, he did kill a lot of drones and traded armies pretty efficiently. If you look back at Marine King's natural, get a shot of it here in a second, he has a ton more forces back at home. So, you know, even though he lost most of that army, he's got a new one macroed up and ready to go. Hasn't started a 3rd command center just yet. And remember, Revival did keep his 3rd hatchery alive. Right now, as far as worker counts goes, it's 42 SCVs to 35 drones. That is not a huge difference. And it's really helpful that he's got that 3rd base up, because he's going to be able to make even more drones. But I'm not sure, you know, if Marine King just plays it safely like he has been, he doesn't even have to attack to punish him right now. He can just take his own 3rd base, and then he's actually just going to take the gold. And there's nothing Revival can do to stop him. So Marine King just playing it safe, not wanting to end the game. Remember, this is a game 3. Even though Marine King is definitely considered to be a better player and has a huge lead, he's still human, he's still nervous, and he wants to play it out safely. As the observer just highlighted, Stim hasn't been started yet, so that's a little bit unusual. He does have enough resources to do it, but does have combat shields, and he does have +1 attack, I believe, on those Marines. Indeed, he does. So his armor is on the way. It's going to be a while before that's out. Remember, though, Revival does have +1 melee attacks. He's starting Baneling speed right now. His lair has finished, and he's getting that 3rd base up and saturated. He's not out of this yet. He's in trouble. He's behind, but he's not out of this yet. He is trying to drone like a madman. He's caught up in drone count. Now he's making a bunch of speedlings, knowing if he attacks me now, I'm in trouble. He scouts. He sees this coming, making 34 more Zerglings. Baneling speed might not be done in time. +2 missile or melee attacks is definitely not going to be done in time. Marine King pulls a few Marines forward, micros them backwards. He's taking out a lot of these units of Revival. I'm not sure if Revival can hold this. He's going to try his best, making a lot more Zerglings right now, trying to get as many Banelings out as he can. He wants to buy time. He wants to attack with Baneling speed. But goodbye Marines there at the front, and actually he may be able to take out some of these siege tanks as well. Pretty good victories here for Revival. And in fact, Revival coming out on top of this engagement, that's for sure. Back at home, a nuke is being researched, and a ghost is on the way for Marine King. He wants to go out with a bang, but Revival definitely got the better end of that trade. Made just enough Zerglings to clean that attack up. Marine King still ahead in supply. But with that third base up and running and a relatively even drone count, Marine King, remember, he hasn't taken the gold yet. He destroyed the rocks and he planned on doing it, but he hasn't done it yet. So Revival's still definitely not out of this. Now the first ghost has come out, trying to find that Ghost Academy. The nuke is almost done. There it is, there at the natural. And he may try to nuke and force his opponent's units to reposition using the nuke. Not entirely sure what his plan is with this. He may just try to be flashy. They want to end this game for the fans. With that nuke. Not entirely sure what his plan is, but he may be using it strategically. We'll find out exactly what his plans are for it very soon here. The Ghost is here. The nuke is ready. Now, I think what he's going to do here is nuke right on top of where his Marines are and then fall back. That may be what he's got in mind. Or he may nuke on top of his siege tanks. I'm not sure. He hasn't quite done that nuke yet. This Ghost needs to be careful. He keeps that Ghost alive in the dropship. Losing that Ghost would be pretty bad. Pretty huge investment to make with that Ghost. And Marine King, while being ahead, I don't think as ahead as he thinks he is. Alright, now here comes the Ghost. He's going to nuke somewhere over here. There he goes, nuking right on top of the natural. Now he's going to keep his Marines up here with some medevacs. I think he's going to try to pull his opponent's forces towards those medevacs. And he's going to try to keep that Ghost alive. The Ghost is so far still alive. And the nuke drops, hitting a lot of those Banelings, damaging the hatchery as well. Doesn't have a second nuke researching just yet. Does have another Ghost in here though. And Revival just doesn't have that many units. Did kill a lot of those Banelings, and I think Revival attacked at the wrong time. Lost a lot of those Banelings trying to stop the nuke. Now I don't think he has enough. Marine King now has twice his supply, even just staying on 2 bases. He's just been macroing like a madman, and Revival's just making too many units and then attacked kind of poorly there. And that's, I think, unfortunately going to be the end of Revival. He may hold this attack, but that's a big maybe. And even if he does, Marine King's got more forces rallying in here. These Ghosts sniping Zerglings. Medevacs healing up the Ghosts. The Ghosts actually have a lot of hit points. They have 100 hit points, of course, and that's a lot more than a Marine. And they do bonus damage to light units. And that's it. 28 supply to 128. Second nuke is done. He may nuke again on top of the lair. This time it definitely will just be for show. He's going to nuke his own army. And that is what people have been doing these days to celebrate. And dropping some mules on it as well. And Marine King kills his entire army. Well, at least all of it that was out. Does have another small force going to finish off Revival down here at his third base location. That's got to be pretty humiliating. I mean, I've seen some pretty humiliation dance celebrations, but the game's not even 100% over and you're nuking your entire army. That's intense. That's how confident Marine King is here. And GG. Revival probably a little bit flustered by that last finish there. And Marine King will advance to the round of 8. Gonna drink some of his Gatorade, drink it slowly, savor the taste. And I don't care who you are, if you lose like that to a nuke, it's very frustrating, especially after Marine King got ahead just with a bunker. But guys, I can't stress to you enough, I know a lot of you guys are gonna disagree with me, but most of that game came down to Revival not having an Overlord to spot. If you don't have an Overlord to spot, you get bunkered, you're going to be behind from the outset. That's just how it is. So playing it a little bit sloppy, forgot to leave that Overlord out there. Almost all Zergs leave one Overlord at their hatchery. Then we're going to have an interview here with Marine King.
만나봅니다. 이종원 선수 기분이 굉장히 좋을 것 같아요.
예, 정말 기분 좋아요.
네, 현재 소감 부탁드리겠습니다.
How do you feel?
일단 친한 형을 이기고 이렇게 올라가게 돼서 좀 미안한 마음도 있는데 그래도 저는 여기서 떨어질 수 없기 때문에 그냥
He said
부담담한 것
Revival's actually a really good friend of his, and so
자, 질문해 주시죠.
obviously there are emotions attached
이정훈
with
선수
that.
지금 굉장히
네.
뭔가 조금 받쳐 올라오는 듯한 그런 표정과 눈빛을 보여주고 있는데 준비하면서 특별히 뭐 힘들었던 점이나 특별히 이 경기에 의미가 있다거나 이런 게 좀 있었나요?
네, 준비할 시간이 많이 없어가지고 그래도 며칠 동안
There wasn't a lot of time for me to prepare,
1세트에서 제가 너무
and in set
허무하게
1,
패배해가지고 네, 그 점에서 좀 많이
I lost
흔들렸어요.
really badly, so
좀 그래도
I was
이
kind of nervous, and obviously that was a little bit evident as you guys saw.
굉장히 다행이라고 생각해서 네, 그러겠던 것 같아요.
네, 그렇군요. 자, 이어서
He said for the next two sets though, things turned out well.
정경현
So.
선수에게 한번 발목이 잡혀서 이제 준우승에 머물게 되는데 이제 정경현 선수가 없단 말이에요. 지금 생각하는 최고의 적수는 만약에 임재덕 선수인지 아니면 다른 선수를 또 생각을 하고 있는지 그런 것이 궁금해지네요.
Who do you think your most challenging opponent will be?
네, 제덕이 형이 올라올 수 있을지도 의문이고요. 일단 저는
He said he's not sure if Nesty will make it there.
김동환 선수가 지금 저희 라인에서는 제일 무서운 것 같아요.
그렇군요. 자, 그리고 마지막으로 질문하도록 하겠습니다. 그 핵을 사용하셨는데
No
어떤
translation
의미였나요?
for that.
전술핵이었나요? 아니면 뭐 세레모니성이었나요?
Yeah, it's kind of hard for
1세트에서
producers to hear his voice. So.
허무하게 진 거를 그래도 좀 팬분들한테 죄송한 마음도 있고 해서 세레모니성으로 했는데 공성전차 라인이 저그 앞마당 쪽에 잡혀 있어가지고 거기다가 핵을 떨어뜨리면 저그가 아무것도 할 수 없을
He did
것
his
같아서
ceremony in the nuke game because he felt bad about losing the first game. He
마지막으로
said,
이제
so he wanted
팬분들에게
to
한마디
make his fans
부탁드리겠습니다.
feel better about it. So he nuked his army.
일단 오늘 또 깔끔하게 2대0으로 이기고 올라가려고 했는데 그렇게 되진 못했지만
Well, I wanted to win 2-0.
8강, 4강 그리고 결승도 되도록이면 한 게임도 내주지 않고 이길 수 있게 압도적인 실력을 보여드리겠습니다.
네, 앞으로도 좋은 경기 부탁드리겠습니다.
He says he would love to win a 2-0 and all the
이정훈
other
선수는 이제 문성훈 선수랑 김동원
best of threes that
선수를
he ends up playing in. So he's like, I didn't 2-0 you, but I'll 2-0 everyone else I meet. All right. So he doesn't want to give up any more games because he loves his fans. That's why he did the nukes. And thanks for tuning in, guys. I know we're at the end of the show for tonight. I really appreciate you guys. I mean, this is my last solo cast, and it's been a lot of fun solo casting for you guys. Obviously, it's starting to show a little bit. It's been a little bit tiring, so I really thank all the people who supported me during all of this. And we're going to take a look at our match results for today. MMA versus Ganji got 2-0'd, 2-1. Slayers Ryung takes out OGS Juke2 in a pretty close series, and closer than anything else, the best foe you just barely edges out Slayers Min in a crazy last few minutes of that game. And TSL Revival does get taken out by Marine King 2-1 in a pretty aggressive first game, but the second two games did not go quite as well for him. So those are today's results. And for tomorrow, Tastosis will be back. Lenok Foyu will play against the Chosen One, Alicia, that's what I'm calling him now. He's the last Protoss out there. Maka Prime versus Pult, the two teammates collide with very similar styles. Zenex Line faces OGS Nada. Nada took out his teammate Koka, so can Line get revenge and take out Nada? OGS Top will face Nesty. That should be a good series as well. So Tastosis will be back tomorrow to save my voice and to reclaim their caster seats. So welcome them back with open arms, so I'm sure all of you will. The Dark Templar are being scanned. They will go away. Right here is Rob. He's been with me for all these casts. And Clark over here has been doing a good job as well. But Tastos is coming back. They're going to bring their scanner sweep. They might have a Raven. And unfortunately, the DTs will have to either fight for me and try to hold off Tastosis, or they may have to retreat. So I am FXO Wolf on Twitter. GomTV is GomTV on Twitter. Thanks for all the support you've given me, guys, and thanks for watching these awesome matches with me. Really appreciate all the feedback I've gotten also on my casting. I know I'm a pretty new caster, but I'm here to stay. I'll be around for a while. And thanks for watching today. Tastosis will see you all tomorrow. And thanks also to LG Cinema 3D, G-Skill, and Intel. Without them, of course, this tournament would not be possible. I'll see you guys next time.